I ain't gonna lie, no disrespect. Everyone's amazing and done what they done. No one can stand on that stage. I mean, I'm just telling you guys the real. Like, it's not a shot. There's not a chance in hell that anyone can stand on that stage with me for I don't know how long it is. 2 hours, 1 hour, 2 hours.
Right.
Look, I gotta stand in front of the Grammy family freestyle live. No one's ever even seen me perform that. Like, you gotta stand in front of that. That ain't gonna never happen, man. Let's move on from Verzuz and let's get back to the this Keys album.
All right, look at this. Trap Media USA, like, share, subscribe, all that. So we had Jay-Z on a Twitter space with Alicia Keys, and they end up getting into a versus conversation. We know it's been big talk. Jay-Z versus Nas in a versus. Would Jay-Z do a versus? And, Jay being confident, Jay-Z, he feels, and I'm sure a lot of the older generation, they feel like that. Like, man, ain't nobody gonna be able to stand up there with Jigga. Like, but I feel like, before I get into my thoughts, I want to go into academics' thoughts. So I'm on academics Twitter right now. And let's see. So first thing he posted a meme, and it was with Drake, and it's with the quotes from Jay-Z, "No one can stand in front of me," and Drake looking at the phone crazy. And then he has Future looking at the phone. He said that verse has happened in Atlanta. And Future looking at the phone crazy. And he also has Kanye. Now I agree with with Ye. I think it's tough. It's tough. Only thing with Kanye is because he don't write most of his music. I don't I don't know if that's a fair, because I don't feel somebody that don't write should be up there with somebody that write. Whoever wrote your songs, just like, who was it? One of the old Babyface or something. He was doing all the songs that he wrote. So even that he didn't perform, but he wrote it. So I think it's still debatable. If all of these matchups are debatable, it depends where it's at. I think in New York, Jay-Z beats all three of them. I think the most debatable in New York would probably be maybe. I think you want Nas. If it's a versus in New York and you want to give somebody the best chance, you probably want Nas. If even Lil Duval said Wayne, I don't even think Wayne in New York. If it's out of these three, I would probably say Drake. I think Drake can probably translate his music on almost any coast versus Jay-Z, even in New York. But it's such a different lane that I don't know if it fits on the versus stage, because you'll be going to slow vibes, to it's hard with Jay because he's rapping. So I think if you rapping, it fits a versus stage. It's not just like when this first started and they were playing song with song. Now it's about performance as well. And when you can go a cappella like a Jadakiss, and just, if you seen the crowd doing, I think the Jadakiss battle, and they was playing a lot of Jay-Z songs, you could just feel the energy in the room. It was different. And when I'm doing my top, and my generation, a lot of us and younger got Drake as the guy, but it rotates between Drake, Jay-Z, Tupac. It just depends on really how you feel on that day as far as that. Now, Future and a lot of in like East Coast, I don't think he stands a chance with Jay-Z, but I think in Atlanta, it's a more debatable battle. But I still think Jay could win in Atlanta. I do. I think he could still win in Atlanta. I just think it's a lot closer if it happened in Atlanta. The energy is going to be different if it happened in Atlanta. And Kanye, he's another one you can pretty much put him anywhere. Wayne, I think you just have to put Wayne in the South. If you put him in the South, it's a conversation. Florida, I think if he do it with Wayne, it would have to be probably in Florida, neutral grounds. But Jay would be the A side, because he's so big in the culture that he's going to command A side treatment, just like in boxing. So outside of with Drake, I think is no A side. I think it's no A side because they are both such big stars that I don't know where they would put that battle. I don't know where they would put it, but I actually think Drake wouldn't have a problem with going to New York, but he probably would want it in Cali. He probably would want it in Cali, but it's a good conversation. I want to go through Axe thing. He said the whole DJ Academics was saying the whole Jay Z versus conversation is actually hilarious because it's definitely age slash status based. People who grew up on Jay Z look at him like Jordan, or people who Rockefeller birth look at him like he's untouchable. For everyone else who aren't in that bubble, it's laughable. It's pretty much the Jordan LeBron debate, like debate. Like those who grew up on Mike, it's just Mike is everything. Even a lot in generations after Mike is everything, but you got a lot of the younger generation is growing up now since they was a kid. All they've been seeing is LeBron, LeBron, LeBron. That's all they talk about on TV. To them, if you say it's laughable, shout out my guy Ghost, salute, salute, salute. Uh, hey Ghost, who you think, man? If it was a versus with Jay Z, who you feel like got the best chance out of I see academics posted Future in Atlanta. He felt like he'd give him a good run. Uh Let me see. Go say Nas bodied him in the early 2000s. We don't give about him. Ether is all I got to say. Nah, see, I didn't like Ether like that, Ghost. I think Ether is overrated, but I do think Nas, because of how Jada performed and the tone that he set, I think Nas give him the best run out of everybody. But outside of Nas, do you think Kanye, Drake, Future, anybody else in a different generation could give him problems, or is it would have to be somebody from that '90s era? Because academics, he feel like Kanye, Ether, H2O, MO, Desert Eagle, and Mini Classic is there. Oh no, I'm not doubting Nas. I think it's a solid matchup with Nas. I'm just saying, do you feel like anybody in a different generation could get Jay Z around? Because that's academics' point. He's saying pretty much Jay Z has so much of a lock on the industry that of course all of these media people is gonna say, you know, nobody can beat Jay because they bias. But he's saying for people like him, they got in today's time with this era kids, Drake and Kanye. Okay. Now what about location though? Do it matter about location? Because it ain't just like back in the day. I mean, when it first started, where it's just on the internet. It's the crowd matter now. So do location matter? If it's in New York, do you think Drake and Kanye could give them a run, or do location matter? Let me see. Hold on. Let me mind my car. Stop. So let me get back to academics tweets. He like gatekeeper ish is over. So when I hear these little Jay Z, Rock Nation, D Riders acting like that was some golden era, I laugh. And I laugh at that too. I don't think the '90s was the golden era. I feel like 2009 to 2013 was the golden era because you in the '90s everything sounded somewhat similar, and in the 2009 to 2013 you had so many different styles. You had from Pro Era to TDE to Wiz Khalifa at the top to Mac Miller to Waka Flocka to Roscoe Dash to Trey F. Kendrick, Absol, I think it was the end of Gucci. It just was a lot. Drake, Nicki Minaj. It just was so much in that 2009 through 13. So I agree with Ack on this point. That's not the '90s is not the golden era to me. I think it was a lot more bad in the '90s. I think you got to compare a generation by the bottom of it, and I think the bottom of '09 through 13 is better than the bottom of the '90s. Go say Drake as an artist is much bigger than Jay Z. Musically, they are bigger. Even Future is big. Yeah, Future today they definitely bigger with the streams and all that. Drake is bigger than everybody. I mean, we know Drake probably could go down as the best in rap, R&B, pop. I mean, Drake is the cheat code, so we know that. Drake beats him in any location for sure. No one else though. You're not beating him in New York because everyone goes sing along. Drake catalog is bigger than Jay today. Son with oh, I forgot about Ghost. I don't know if you put Kendrick and LA. I think out of this generation, Kendrick could win in New York. I do. I think because when that beat go off and when Kendrick get to twisting them words and his message with the words, and I think Kendrick could probably even give a better. Because Drake, if they was just playing the songs like on the computer, how when verses first started, I feel like Drake could win. But with the performance, I think Jay-Z could slightly edge him. But Kendrick, because it's the rapping part, like we seen with Jadakiss matter so much. Oh, that's a toss up. That's a toss up, right? I want to see that. I want Drake. I want Kendrick and Jay Z more than I want Drake and Jay Z because it match up a little bit more. But you say Drake's catalog is bigger than Jay today. Same with Kendrick. They are much more recent. Biggest Jay Z tracks from 2000s to 2005. They don't work today. Not in today's crowd. That man gone. How much that man gone? How much a dollar really costs with no beat and body? Yeah, yeah. Only thing I would say with the crowd goes, I used to think that, but after I seen how like you gotta think when Jadakiss was doing his verses, even the women was going crazy. So they are appreciating that era in the verses. Even when they did Rakim and Kane, it was a whole crowd for that. So I think it's not gonna be the young crowd just in the building. Now Drake would bring a different demographic than I would say there was at most of these verses, but I still think it's gonna be that older generation there supporting Jay Z. Hold on, you say and Kanye is way too big. That's a new league. After seeing Kanye and Drake perform on the same stage, nobody beating that man. His music is too emotionally attached with generations. Yeah, Kanye dangerous. I gotta go. I didn't watch that Free Larry Hoover concert yet. I gotta go back and see it. Only thing I say with Kanye where I don't think is fair is because he don't write. He got so many writers that it's and it's just different. It's not like Kanye really rapping. Now that first Kanye album is crazy. And My Dark Twisted Fantasy is crazy, but I don't even think that's a style matchup I want to see. Like it don't make. I rather Kanye and Drake. If they do it, they need to just format it in a versus format and do it like that. It make more sense. Future, I don't know who Future would be a good match. I think Future and Wayne. I think Future and Wayne is the matchup. Not, but Jay is either Kendrick or Nas. It got to be. You say, bro, watch that. You gonna be surprised. Even Act came out publicly and said, not even Drake is going to touch him on the verses. Yeah, and I can agree. I think Kanye a little bit more. He feel a few more lanes than Drake. He touched some of them lanes that Drake touched, but he touched different. And then he can also stop and just like when he got that certain beat. I forgot what song on my dark twisted fantasy when he just let that beat rock and Kanye can kind of put people in the world. Kanye knows how to perform. That's on a whole different level. I agree with that. Kanye can take you into a different dimension and it's dangerous. It's dangerous. So that's why I say I'd rather see Kendrick and Jay or Jay Z and Nas, and you can put that wherever. But yeah, I want Wayne and Future, and I want Drake and Kanye officially, and Drake and Kanye officially. Eminem versus Jay. Nah, I'm not really an Eminem fan. I'm not. I think Eminem is overrated. I think at the time I was big on Eminem, like when that I Am and Stan and all that. Even that album right there, I think it's an overrated album. The big songs on there, like I say, I Am, Stan, when he was talking about putting his baby mother in the trunk and all that, those were big songs. But there was a lot of songs on there going back that didn't age well. I think it was more of the shock factor of a white guy rapping and twisting the words. But in actuality, I feel like Eminem is Twister or Tech Nine. But just because he's white, he gets a bit more credit. His last few albums have been trash to me. Most of his albums in recent history have been trash to me. Maybe his last eight, he might have had one good out of that. He has some very good songs that I think kind of get people lost in the calling him the greatest. Dear Mom, I'm sorry, Mom, all of that. His great songs, I'm not denying that. My name is all of that. I give him credit for it, but just overall, is Eminem on Jay-Z level? I didn't even think his verse on Renegade. Like a lot of people be trying to say that's better than Jay-Z verse. That was really more of a preference. If you was more doing what Eminem does and living that lifestyle, you gonna feel Eminem's verse a little more. If you was living how Jay-Z was living, you gonna feel his verse a little more. So I think that's more subjective. I think stage presence a major factor in terms of a versus. Anyone who is big, like on a sell a platinum level, those guys can get Jay. But don't get too lost into that, Ghost, because we thought that with Dipset and the Locks, because Dipset had more commercial records, the balling and all that. I get high, all that. That was the big talk. But when it came down to it, them underground hard Dipset records is what drug it out. And but that was also Jada's great performance. But don't kind of get lost into that commerciality when it comes to the verses. Jay never really had the best performance. Yeah, they say, but look, this is what I will say, and you gotta admit, Jay a lot more comfortable as far as moving around in the public now. It's like he know who he is, he understand, he in his total bag, got the dreads, he feeling himself now. So I think his performance probably done upped a lot. That's why he talking like that. And outside of 99 Problems and songs from that 1 year, Jay don't got hits. Nah, the Ghost, what they gonna do when he play Reasonable Doubt? The whole crowd gonna be singing that. When the weather fall, put away the legs and put ice on the gold. Skinny with enough bail money to free a big Willie. High stakes, I got more stake. When he start doing stuff like that and bring Mary J, come on, Ghost. You getting a little disrespectful now, Ghost, man. You must have been riding with Nas hard during that beef. Jay doesn't have the hits he would need for. You don't need hits though. What? Think about it. What did the Locks really have? There was like big commercial hits. It was more so them under Jada's Who Shot You was one of the standouts. That wasn't like a hit. Dipset never knew how to perform though. Jada dropped that freestyle which stole the whole show. Yeah, for sure. That's what I'm saying. So we what they gonna do when Jay drop Dear Summer freestyle? His verse on Mr. Cart, like Jay got so much new when he play. If they in New York and he dropped that New York with Alicia Keys, I don't need no hits. I don't need no beat for this. The American Gangster album. Come on, Ghost. It it's a problem for anybody stepping there with Jay. I don't think you can come in. Even Kanye. I'm be honest. I don't think Kanye can stand in a verses with Jay. Not this format. I think the old verses format he could. Drake gonna come with that Passion Fruit song. All the girls gonna be singing along. I think it's such a different vibe that this what I think. Jake, Drake, and Jay, if they had a split crowd, it's just gonna be a tie because it's gonna be like, man, both of them just came to do their thing. But I think at verses they want to hear you rap. Nas gonna drop his verse on Black Republicans and it's over. They got that success song together too. Uh, Nas a good Nas good, but I don't think Nas is as good as people. I don't like what's that first album that people like from Nas? I don't like that album. I think it's an overrated album. Nas went on the same beat as Jay and bodied him. It wasn't look, I don't agree with that. I think you just like Nas. I do. I think you like Nas and a good friend of mine. We be debating this all the time. He like Nas like how you like Nas, but I don't. Nas got songs with Jay on the same beat that he floated. They both floated. The last song that they dropped, Nas ain't had a better verse on that last song they just dropped. The success was even. Uh, Nas from my okay. You from Queensbridge? Okay, I get that. But look, that boy from Brooklyn, that boy from Marcy, he's a problem for anybody. I just don't think I don't see nobody beating Jay. I think it's good matchups. I think Kendrick is the most dangerous though. When I moved to Queens, I lived on the same street as Nas. I got a ride for him and Biggie. Yeah, I don't even think Big could stand up there with Jay. I don't. I don't. I'm sorry. I think Kendrick. I used to live in Biggie Hood. I could never respect Jay like that. I don't know why you saying that. He perfected Biggie's style. He perfected Biggie's style. Come on, Ghost. So where you got Jay at? So what's your top five? Like right now, all time. What's your top five? What's your top five all time? And what's your top five right now? Three or five. You can give me three or five. You can't go five. Just drop three. Just drop three. You got Biggie over Jay Z. Yeah, but Biggie stole Cool G Rap's flowing style. They all stole. All of them took that mafioso talk from Cool G Rap. So I mean, what? Uh, That's how they was rapping in New York at the time. My top five: Pop, Nas, Biggie, Jay, and Andre 3. You ain't got Drake in your top? Come on, man. You ain't got Drake. You ain't got J. Cole? Damn. No order. What about right now? What about right now? Who your top right now? Ghost, you probably like my nigga Tom. We done did a few shows on here. He don't like none of the new young shit. I know you probably about to hold on. Today, Kendrick, Kanye, Drake, yeah, J. Cole, Wayne, yeah, yeah. I knew it. You don't fuck with none of the young niggas, Ghost. That's crazy. Yeah, but yeah, it's interesting. Hold on, I want to go back to academics tweets because Ack was talking about hold on. Ack was saying he felt like he feel like if you put Young Boy on the stage with him, that it's so going back to it. Ack say the gatekeeper ish is over. So when I hear these little Jay Z, Rockefeller, Rock Nation acting like that was some golden era, I laugh. F out of here. We in the golden ages of hip hop. Merit based, not off who you know. Cream rises to the top, despite if it's YouTube, IG, or otherwise. He say I was one of the first who kicked this industry door open without ever being a look to someone or begging for an opportunity from an industry. The industry will end up and belong to the internet. Reviewers, reactors, meme pages, blogs, YouTubers, the new generation. And I agree with I mean, I respect everything Academic did. He's a legend. A lot of people hate on him because it was nobody that had to co-sign him. They he kicked the door and made a new lane, and he was consistent in that lane, and that took him to whole different heights. And he opened the door for a lot of other people to make a lot of money on his YouTube. And really, if you see the biggest videos, like you can go back to my video about the controversy. That's kind of like in an academic lane with the Mexican and Whack 100. That's an academic lane. So those are the videos that really do the most numbers. It's not really the politics. It's not really I wouldn't say the boxing. It's really the controversy based around hip hop, the music. So act right about that. You say no, Wayne in my top five. I just kept different lists. You asked me for two. My top five was Nas, Pop, Wayne, Biggie, and Kendrick. And my six, my cousin King, Capital Steez, shout out Cap Steez. He was one of the premier faces of my golden era, '09 to 2013. We can say Act kind of made drill a thing too. He was the only one reporting with the war on Chirac and made it blow. I wouldn't say it was already doing numbers before academics, but he made it more he made the characters come alive. Like everybody was already listening to it and it was already floating. But he just gave it he gave narratives. He made it like Dragon Ball Z. And everything needs a good story to it, and he was the story when you wanted to tune. It was him and it was Lowski early on. It was a few others, and it was Chicago News or something. He used to actually ride down the blocks where certain stuff was happening. So it was a few of them in that time. Act just was the one that went all the way, But yeah, shout out to Ack, a legend forever. I have all the respect for Ack. A lot of people hate academics, but to me, academics is just a visionary He's misunderstood, and a lot of these old guys hate on him. Act made it a thing where white kids in the bloomies started paying attention. Yeah, 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 for sure. Act made it cool for non-street dudes to listen. Yeah, and I like that Act always stood on that, who he was. Act wasn't trying to be street or act like he was something that he wasn't. And a lot of people just can't stomach that. Act gets a lot of hate, but in reality, if you on YouTube and you get money in this hip hop talk, you owe some flowers to academics. And a lot of this generation, especially the old guys, they don't want to give Act no credit, but I think Act deserves a lot of credit. But overall, man, Jay-Z in the verses, um, I think he beats most people, and I think Kendrick gives him the best run for his money. Shout out to my guy Ghost. Hold on. Shout out to my guy Ghost. Like, share, subscribe. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. I'm gonna be back in a minute, getting ready to talk some boxing next. We working. Trap Media USA. Hold on, wait. You say, you think Big Draco can stand against Jay? He was big and very influential. He trolling now. We need Draco versus Lil B, man. I'm all. All right, shout out.